Okay, next topic will be associative array. It's a number two methods of array. Okay, I repeat again. Number one is numerical array or index array. So if you're looking into internet reference, they might call index array or numerical array. Number two is associative array, right? And number three is multi-dimensional array. So for associative array, it's almost similar with numerical array or index array in terms of functionality, but the difference is only in terms of you are changing the numbers with a string or alphanumeric. Okay, so that's why associative array will have their index as string, right? Their index, okay, for index array, you are putting start with number 0, followed by number 1, number 2, and so on. But for associative array, you are going to replace number 0, 1, and 2 into string or alphanumeric. So that you can establish a kind of a strong association between keyword and values. Okay, so that's only different between associative array and index array or numerical array. So it already mentioned in lecture notes, you just change the value instead of using number, change into alphanumeric or string. Okay, so this is the important slide to show still have two ways in order to implement associative array. Okay, this is number one. Okay, the yellow color. Start with the variables and then you change the value inside the box. You see the box, normally you are putting for numeric or index array, you are going to put 0, 1, and 2, right? So for associative array, you are going to change them into a string value, string. So in this case, we are putting a Peter. Number 2, we put Ben and Joe. Okay, number 3 is Joe. Then you assign the value. Okay, so that's number one style. Number two style, you are using a slightly different style, but the output will be the same. Okay, in this case, you are putting the same variables, age, and then array, and then you use bracket, and then you have a string here, Peter, and then this is a special symbol, equivalent or greater than, okay, and then you have 35, 73, 37, and 47. This is the two-way in order to implement associative array. Okay, if you're looking into the code of 7d.php, you go to the VS Code and you can see this is a 7d.php. The code has been shared with you in the previous lecture. So if you see here, the first method to associative create array. So this is the way I show you. Okay, age equivalent to array. Age is the variables, and array into associative Peter, Ben, Joe. Okay, the value is 35. Okay, don't get confused because the value of the age here normally refer to the end point, which is in this case 35 and 37 and 43. 43, yeah. So how to access? If you're looking into the PHP things, echo is the one referred to the print out, or in C you have printf. Okay, so echo Peter is, and then this is the variables age, and you have a Peter as the associative array. Okay, the variables is still age, so that's it will give you the output of the last point here. Okay, 35 means that the output will be Peter is 35 years old, and then you have a new line. Actually, not new line, it's a blank line. Okay, and it will give you another nice formatting things, and then you come up with a number 2 line. Ben is 37 years old. Then you have new line, blank line, okay, and then you have Joe is 43 years old. Okay, that's the first methods. Then we go for the second methods. This is normally one of the most popular way in associative array, right? You see age till age, Peter, 35, and so on, and then access the associative array with this style. Okay, Peter is age Ben. Okay, see Ben 37. Okay, so the age value is the one that we want. Okay, Peter is Ben refer to. Okay, this is something that I make a mistake. So it should be okay. What will happen if you change the variables? It should be Peter. Okay, like this. I already tried this. I just want to uh, make you understand. Okay, this is actually the real one. Peter is Peter. How many years old? Refer to the Peter, 35. It gives you Peter is 35 years old. Ben is 37 years old. Joe is 43 years old. This is almost similar. But if you change this into Ben, okay, let's say we change this value into Ben, what will happen? Okay, we use 37 instead of 35. Okay, so let me see what will happen on 7D. Okay, on 7D, if you go to index of 7D, the outcome will be, see here, Peter is, okay, look at the source code. Right, Peter is 35 years old. This is referred to the first way of coding. Peter is 35 years old. And then Ben is 37 years old. That's the correct one. Joe is 43 years old. Okay. You come here, 1, 2, 3, it's done. Then next, the second methods, I already make some changes. You see that Peter is Ben. Okay. Peter is age referred to Ben, 37 years old. Ben is Ben, 37 years old. Joe is 43 years old. So the error is here. Okay, the programming have an error because actually not error. It's a kind of wrong composition, wrong partner. Okay, it should be Peter with the age of Peter, but in this case I changed to Ben age. It's not wrong, but the composition is not correct. The coding is still accepted. That's why I'm saying the code is correct, but the logic is wrong. Okay, so that's the meaning of associative array. Don't get confused between numerical array and associative array. Now we go back to the lecture notes. Talking about associative array, you can see a lot of exercise has been uploaded into your Google Drive, and you can try. Okay, looping is almost the same like what I told you in numerical array. You just put it there, but adding some code for each, and you get each like this, and this is what we call a conditional situation. Okay, and then you have echo and so on. So you get key Peter value 35, that based on the echo value. Okay, and then for multidimensional, it's quite slightly complex, but we try to go one by one. Okay, a multi-dimensional array, each element in the main array can also be an array. Okay, you can imagine that in our world we have a three-dimensional. So if you're looking into typical array, you only assign one value. Okay, one variables with multiple values. Okay. That one is in single line of the array. But okay, for multi-dimensional array, you see here, one by one. And each element in the sub-array can be an array and so on. So it means that in the array, you're going to have another array. So can you imagine that? So that's why when you understand multi-dimensional array, you are in advanced level. Okay. Value in the multi-dimensional array are accessed using multiple index. So it means it can have one dimension, second dimension, three dimension. You can imagine that one A, B, C, and then you can compare with 1, 2, 3. Okay, A with 1, A with 2, A with 3. Okay, and then continue again, B with 1, B with 2, B with 3. That one is a second dimension. And number 3 dimension, C with 1, C with 2, C with 3. So that's a multi-dimensional concept. Right, so in terms of multi-dimensional array, you can see lesson coding 7F-PHP. Okay, if you go for 7F-PHP, okay, this one is something related with multi-dimensional array. Okay, you can try first, you see, mark, and then refer to array, right? Array in array, okay. So Muhammad equivalent to array, and then their value of the physics array, 35, maths, 30, chemistry, 39. And then we have Kadir array, you see, we are using the same variables, array and array, but in this case, Kadir, and this is Muhammad. Okay. Then they have the same subject, physics, maths, and chemistry. And then we have another one that called Zara. Zara array, physics, maths, and chemistry, the different value. And then when you want to assign, what you're going to do, calling this what we call a multi-dimensional array. Marks is a variables, and it's also referred to array of different people. Okay, so echo mark for Muhammad in physics. Okay, this is nothing, but this is something. Okay, echo marks. Okay, which refer to marks. What is marks here? Marks. It can be Muhammad, can be Kadir, it can be it can be Muhammad, it can be Kadir, it can be Zara. Okay, that's the way how you think. But in this case, the marks of Muhammad of physics will be published or will be printed out. And then the second line, you have marks for Kadir, nothing wrong, nothing because it's not related with any variables. And then you have marks here, Kadir and maths. So you are putting Kadir and maths. Okay, Kadir and equivalent to maths. Okay, and then marks of Zara in chemistry. You are putting marks of Zara and chemistry. Okay, so what is important here? You can see in array you have another array, and with variables you share one variable with different values of array. So what happened here? You just can refer to this data, kind of a data for array of multidimensional, and you can get the outcome of 7FP, something like this. Okay, 7FP. Okay, see marks for Muhammad. Okay, you can see the marks for Muhammad in physics is 35. Marks of Muhammad 35, right? And then marks echo marks Kadir. Okay, marks for Kadir is math 32. Kadir 32. Okay, so I want you to understand. If you cannot understand multidimensional in my lecture, never mind. But at least you can understand inside the array you have another array. Okay, you start with variables, but inside the variables you have an array. Inside the array you have a lot of value, right? Dimensional, like this. Muhammad, dimensional 1, physics. Dimensional 2, maths. Dimensional 3, chemistry. Just like when I mentioned about A, B, C and pair with 1, 2, 3. Can you imagine that? So A1, A2, A3. And then B1, B2, B3. And C1, C2, C3. That's a multi-dimensional concept. That one is only 3-dimensional. If you go for more than that, it will be more complex in a multi-dimensional. I think that's good enough for one example. And then if you go for W3 School, you can see a multi-dimensional example here. Okay, you can see they are giving you a lot more multi-dimensional, and you can try yourself in W3 School. They are using the same sample. Okay, and from there you can understand well in terms of, okay, they are using BMW. Okay, this is a kind of 2-dimensional array. You have one here and one data. This is the first data and this is the second data. Okay, for the example of our programming code in VS Code that giving to you, this is 3-dimensional data. You can see physics, maths, and chemistry. You have 3 data, and whereas in the W3 School we have 2-dimensional of data, stock and sold. Okay, in our lecture notes that VS Code that give to you the code, we have 3 things like physics, maths, and chemistry. Okay, so that's the way how you're going to understand a multidimensional. For W3 School, you quite simple to understand as well because it's involving 2-dimensional. So if you're putting more than 3-dimensional, let's say 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional, it's become more complex in terms of programming, and it's helped your programming complexity. Okay.